Three simple words. Just 3 words that fractured the very spine of WWE's power structure, turning trusted allies into bitter enemies, transforming undying loyalty into ruthless betrayal, and reducing a once unshakable dynasty into crumbling ruins. Those words, uttered by Paul Heyman with trembling conviction, were, "I love you, my tribal chief." Spoken not in the warm afterglow of victory, but in the cold, shocking aftermath of chaos, the words sent a shockwave through the WWE universe. They weren't merely sentimental. They were strategic. They were dangerous. They were the ignition to a slow-burning fire that now threatens to engulf Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and everything Heyman has built over decades. In this unraveling saga that has fans everywhere glued to their screens, we peel back the layers of a conspiracy that feels more like a civil war than a wrestling feud. Because what seemed like a personal revelation was, in truth, a declaration of war. Last week on Raw, Paul Heyman, former architect of the bloodline and now strategic mind behind Seth Rollins' faction, looked Roman Reigns in the eye for the first time in months and said the unthinkable. And suddenly, the past bled into the present like an open wound. Seth Rollins, still recovering from a brutal knee injury, erupted backstage in fury and confusion, accusing Heyman of betrayal, deception, and manipulation. "You want to talk about love, Paul?" he spat in a promo laced with venom. "Let's talk about the way you've used every man who ever trusted you. Roman, Punk, Lesnar, and now me. I'm the future, and you're still playing puppet master like we don't see the strings." But it's not just words. It's the history behind them. Rollins knows Heyman's playbook inside and out. He knows the sting of betrayal better than anyone. It was Rollins, after all, who shattered the Shield in 2014 with a steel chair to Roman Reigns' spine. That single moment launched a decade-long rivalry and fractured the foundations of WWE's most iconic brotherhood. Fast forward to 2020, Heyman aligns himself with Roman Reigns and births the Bloodline, a faction that would dominate WWE for years. But that alliance would begin to unravel at WrestleMania 40 when Cody Rhodes dethroned Reigns, leaving Solo Sikoa to take control of the Bloodline and Roman to disappear into silence. In the power vacuum, Heyman tried to reinvent himself, aligning with CM Punk at Survivor Series 2024, a move that Reigns reportedly never approved of. Then came WrestleMania 41. Heyman turned on both Reigns and Punk, pledging allegiance to Seth Rollins and forming a new faction with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. The message was clear: the tribal era was over, and a new vision had begun. But now, those 3 words to Roman threatened to unravel it all. Was Heyman sincere? Was this a heartfelt plea to reconnect with the man he once molded into an empire? Or is this yet another layer in his long game of psychological warfare, a methodical campaign to destabilize Rollins and fracture his rising empire before it fully matures? The clues are everywhere. For one, Rollins is already paranoid, seeing Heyman's affection for Roman as a red flag. And he has reason to be. Heyman has betrayed nearly every major talent he's ever backed, from Brock Lesnar to Big Show to CM Punk, and his loyalty has always been more useful than genuine. Add to that the rumors swirling around Braun Breaker. WWE insiders are buzzing with talk that Breaker could soon turn on Rollins, possibly as early as next year, with Heyman orchestrating every move behind the curtain. It's not just speculation, it's strategy. Even Heyman's past statements feed into the suspicion. In April, he publicly said that his work with Roman Reigns was complete, that it was time to elevate Seth Rollins as the greatest in-ring performer of this generation. That seemed like a clean break. Until July 22 on Raw, when Heyman said, "I love you," to the very man he claimed to have moved on from. That contradiction is what has fans and superstars alike questioning every word that leaves Heyman's mouth. Rollins is shaken. Not just because he's injured, not just because his faction depends on Heyman's strategic brilliance, but because he knows what it looks like when the same man who betrayed Reigns and Punk suddenly turns soft toward the tribal chief. It feels like history on repeat, and Rollins doesn't intend to be anyone's stepping stone. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns has returned from exile with the fire of vengeance in his eyes. He didn't respond with forgiveness. He didn't smile. He stood silent, his stare piercing, his legacy wounded. Could he be plotting a counterstrike? Could Reigns team up with allies like Jey Uso or Jacob Fatu to dismantle the very faction that Heyman built with Rollins? And where does this leave CM Punk, who was also betrayed by Heyman at WrestleMania? Could a temporary truce between Punk and Reigns shock the world at SummerSlam, uniting 2 former enemies against a common manipulator? The WWE Universe is buzzing, dissecting every frame, every word. Some believe Heyman is torn, caught between his past and his future. Others believe he's executing his most brilliant chess match yet, positioning Rollins and Reigns to destroy each other so a new star, possibly Braun Breaker, can rise from the ashes. After all, Breaker is the kind of powerhouse WWE loves to build around. Young, explosive, and reportedly already penciled in for a major push. Heyman might see him as the true future, not Rollins, not Reigns. So when Heyman shifts the narrative, redirecting attention to Breaker and Reed while Rollins is recovering, it's not just strategy. It's succession. Rollins was the visionary, but Heyman is the puppeteer. And Roman, he might be the executioner. SummerSlam 2025 is fast approaching, and it promises not just matches, but reckoning. Will Roman Reigns seek retribution? Will Seth Rollins cash in Money in the Bank to snatch gold from beneath everyone's feet? Will Heyman make one final play and reveal a new client who changes the landscape yet again? The board is set. The game is in motion. And Paul Heyman may be 3 moves ahead of them all. So, as we head toward one of the most pivotal events in WWE history, the questions pile up. Is Heyman's confession a plea for redemption or a trap laced with emotional manipulation? Is Rollins spiraling toward self-destruction or preparing for the fight of his life? And will Roman Reigns reclaim the empire that was torn from him or burn it all down once and for all? Whatever happens next, it's clear the stakes have never been higher, the loyalties never shakier, and the outcome never more uncertain. One thing is for sure, no one trusts Paul Heyman. And that might be exactly what he wants.